his drumming alone does that, let alone the input. He's always someone that is very, whenever he brings up an idea to me about music or something, I definitely make it a point to listen.
Do you take your writing from your experiences, or we've interviewed a lot of really, really heavy death metal bands, and during the day they're real quiet, you know what I mean, and then
they're recovering from all that screaming.
Yeah, right. But then they get all their aggression out whenever they perform or they write. What is your creative process?
Well,
you hear the song first, or the lyrics come to your mind first?
Well, a lot of times it is from my personal experience, but not always. Sometimes it might be something that I see on TV or I read in the newspaper, and it kind of sticks in my head, and I think about it. And usually with songs, the vocal melody line comes first. I'll usually come up with something, and I'll just hum it. There'll be no lyrics or anything like that. And I'll usually come up with the melody line, the entire melody line. And I'll be humming it for a while. And while I'm just doing other things, usually that's when I start writing. It just starts coming, and I'll grab something to write with and kind of work with it. And before I know it, it's done. And I'll usually put up music after that, although not always. Sometimes I'll come up with the music first, and then I work from that angle and try to come up with a melody line first. I usually don't come up with lyrics first. I tried that when I first started, and to me it was what's important to me in lyric writing is the flow. And for some people it's more the actual the lyrics, the content, and that's fine. But for me, it's more where the words flow, and it's kind of maybe you can say this is kind of commercial, but it's kind of pleasing to the ear in a sense, unless the song calls for a harsh vocal.
Sure.
Like a song like Pain or Out of My Life I Want You. They're a little more intense in terms of a little angry, so you don't necessarily need it to flow as much as you want with those type of songs to kind of get the emotional impact, and sometimes that doesn't mean flowing, although it can sometimes as well. But for the most part, I usually don't come up with lyrics first, because sometimes I'll try to cram them into melodies and they just don't come out, in my opinion, very good.
Are you pretty critical of yourself?
Yes. Yes, actually, the reason I laugh is because there was a story about that, in a sense. I was at a club one time, and this guy came up to me and he said, "Can you take criticism?" And I said, "Yeah, it's not a problem. No problem." And he said, "Well, you see your flyers up here. There's people looking at them, and they're wondering what is that all about, because it was a poster where we weren't just standing there. We were kind of posing, I guess, for lack of a better term, in a certain way. Nothing sexual or anything like that, but
right.
It's just like kind of a rock pose. And they were wondering what was going on, and I freaked out on them. And and the guy was like, "Ho, ho, ho!" I wasn't really serious, but he was like, "Oh, wait a minute! I thought you said you could take criticism." I said, "Yeah, but I never said I could take it well."
Right? I know, right?
So, but yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm my worst critic. I mean, we videotape all of our shows.
Okay.
Every Caroline Blue show that has ever been performed, there is a videotape of, and 9 times out of 10, when we're done with the show, and if it's not that night, it'll be the next day. I'll pop it in, and I'll review it, and
good idea.
And try to see what I can work on. I check out the other guys too, but for the most part, unless there's a glaring error, those guys pretty much hold their own. Especially this lineup. This lineup, I don't really even have to worry about Johnny or Mike at all. I mean, the last show that we did, we didn't even rehearse for it.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah, we just did a sound check, and there was a couple of questions about a song, and we ran through it during sound check. We fixed the problem, did the show, and there's virtually no problems. I think there was maybe one out of the whole night. So I'm very critical about myself, though, and I do believe I can be better in all aspects of what I'm doing, and I'm constantly trying to improve all those aspects.
Well, that's a good thing. I think that, we talked about this before. When you put your work out there, it becomes someone else's. And so being able to listen to a critique is difficult sometimes. But I do think that, personal artists and musicians and poets and everything, they are more critical on themselves because y'all rock. You don't need to be critical.
Well, I mean, that's part of putting yourself out there, too. You have to expect that. You have to be prepared for bad criticisms because not everyone's alike, especially, something like music. It's a personal thing. Everyone has different values, beliefs, and experiences to draw upon. So to me, if somebody hears, like, let's say, Mine, Mine, Mine or Hard Life or any of our songs, and within 10 seconds they go, oh, this sucks, well, fine. Thank you for, taking the time to listen, and, that's fine with me. That's valid. That's legitimate to me for somebody just to say that. Because all we're trying to do is reach as many people as possible and say, here is our stuff, please listen to it. And what they do with it after that is their choice. You have to be prepared for bad criticism. I mean, we've gotten some bad criticism, on our Slaves to the Hourglass CD. We've had some bad reviews on it. Mm-hmm. It's part of the business. And sometimes people let that get to them. What I've always said to some people is that the sooner you can develop what I call your armor, the better. Because it's one thing to take constructive criticism, but if somebody's just blasting you and flaming you and all that stuff, that's their opinion, but, you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you're doing, and if you're putting it out there, you have to be prepared for the good and the bad.
Well, I have a review open, all right now that I'd really like to read real quick from Deny, and then we'll go ahead and play that song, all right?
Sure.
It says, Caroline Blue likes to churn things up heavy metal style. Johnson's voice snarls the thick and edgy Deny. Okay, in my world, it doesn't get any better than that.
I paid him well. No.
Oh, right. Right. Do you want to talk about that at all, or can we just go ahead and play it?
Well, Deny, that's an interesting song. When I came up with that, because I was basically wandering around at my workplace. I'm not going to say which workplace I was at. I've been in a couple of different jobs, and just kind of noticing somebody, and my mind kind of wandered, and there you go.
All right. You ready to cue that up, Jason?
I am so ready to cue that up for everyone.
Y'all are listening to TRYST, your musical rendezvous.
And we're about to hear
Caroline
Deny
Blue.
by Caroline Blue.
No.
Gives me a problem.
Hell no.
It's been denied.
I'll try that one more time.
Denied. I know, right?
It's that really good. Calling.
Yeah. That was Caroline Blue, Deny. Yeah. Hey, Wayne,
yeah.
Wayne, just so you know, that song, we were talking in chat while it was playing. I'm not going to tell you everything we said, but
yeah, I wouldn't.
very, I know, right?
That'll be
It's
the uncensored version, right?
Yes. So the censored version is this. It's very type O negative meets Kiss sounding to us, okay?
Cool.
You have a quality to your voice that is very reminiscent of Peter Steele. And you do like, oh my God, it's really good. I just want you to know, yeah. Yeah, it's really
Thank you.
good.
That's awesome. I like type O negative quite a lot. It's I don't have his height or his girth, so to speak.
Right?
But
yeah. No, you have the voice. There's a certain sound, at least for me, and Rayne knows this. I mean, the bands I love are Opeth and Nevermore and Type O Negative, and I love that intense. Like, you can tell that you were intense when you were writing it and singing Deny. You can.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's interesting is when we were in the studio doing that song actually got a nickname. It was called the Chef song, Chef from South Park.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so anytime I was singing the song, sometimes I have to, really work hard not to laugh because you just kind of picture Chef walking singing that song.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So I actually had to sing that lyric like a couple of different times because there was a couple of times I just blew it. And it was just, no, that's not good enough. And that was a fun song to do. Well, wait till you see the video.
When is that going to happen? I'm waiting.
Well, actually, the first video we're probably going to do is Pain.
Okay.
And we're just going to go down the line and do as many as we can. It might be with UVTV. It might be with someone else. We might actually even do it ourselves. We're not 100% sure at the moment. But we were talking with UVTV about doing Pain. And what's interesting, there's like planned at least about 6 different videos from the Not for the Innocent CD. And, that would probably include, don't quote me on this in a sense because this is just in the planning stages, but songs like Pain, Love Me or Leave Me,
right.
Deny, Stay, Out of My Life, I Want You, I've Seen the Light Tonight, and possibly a few others. I mean, if we could afford it, we would love to do videos for all of them because that's a lot of fun, even though it's work at times, and depending on certain circumstances, it can be quite a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun, and it's such a great kick to when you finally see the finished product. And sometimes it's kind of weird though. Some of those moves, I'm like, oh, what was I thinking? Because half the time I'm not even thinking; I'm just doing.
That is when it's good, Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's when it's good. I could tell.